What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. This is Ty with Opinionated Grind. I'm back again today with yet another video, and got an interesting one today, man. You know, we're talking about this situation that happened at a Dollar Tree in Tennessee. Okay, guys, where a lady was working there at the time, and apparently she was fired for drinking orange juice on the job. I know you're like, what? Drinking orange juice on the job? Yeah, she was ultimately terminated for drinking orange juice. Now, according to the information, she was getting ready to go into a diabetic emergency. So she wanted to make sure that, hey, I want to keep my sugar up. I have to drink this orange juice in order for me to, not pass out on the job. Okay. And again, she was ultimately fired for this situation. All right. So there's no video on this, guys, but again, there's some information that's been floating around about this whole situation, and I just want to kind of get into it. So let me know how y'all feel about this. All right. So not going to put the information up on the screen, but in essence, this is what happened. Okay. So pretty much, again, Linda Atkins was fired for grazing after consuming a $1.69 bottle of orange juice to treat a diabetic emergency after being denied permission to keep juice at the register. Ultimately, guys, she paid for the juice, but the jury later awarded her $277,565 in a disability discrimination lawsuit. All right. So some of the key details regarding the incident. The incident during a shift, Atkins experienced a severe drop in blood sugar and consumed the orange juice to avoid passing out. Now, we go to the termination. Despite paying for the drink immediately after, she was terminated for violating policy against consuming products before purchase, noted on a Facebook post. All right. The legal outcome of the situation, the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, or the EEOC, sued on her behalf, leading a federal jury to award her $27,565 in back pay and an additional $250,000 in compensatory damages, according to HR Dive. All right, guys, that's a website. So the verdict is that the jury found that Dollar General violated the Americans with Disabilities Act, explained in a Reddit post. All right. So I found this to be very interesting, guys. With this whole situation, obviously, like I said, she was a diabetic. What I'm hearing, guys, it was type 1. So you guys know, if you are diabetic yourself, you know you have to keep your sugar up at all times. Okay. But here's a strange thing about this situation. So when she was ultimately hired, right, I would think that this lady would disclose that information to the employer. Okay. Say, hey, I'm a diabetic. I have to, keep my sugar up. I have to consume, candies, different sweets, sweet drinks, etc., in order for me to achieve that. So you would automatically think, okay, well, if she's drinking on the job, that's stealing, right? Well, technically it's not stealing because she paid for the drink after the fact. But see, this goes to show you guys, when it comes to these companies, these big corporations, as I always state, they don't care about you. They don't care about you. They don't care about your well-being. All they care about is money and policy. That's it. And I'm not going to sit up here and say that they should always make an exception. But if you know that your employee has a certain medical condition, there's rules and laws in place to protect the employee as well. And Dollar General, some kind of way, didn't adhere to their own rules and regulations. They didn't adhere to their own policies and the policies according to the EEOC and the Americans with Disabilities Act. This is the reason why they're sued. Okay. So these companies have to keep in mind, man, that at the end of the day, your employees are human beings with feelings. They have needs, they have wants. Folks get tired. People want to take off from work, mental health days. They want to take vacations with their families, etc. We are not robots. You see what I'm saying, guys? We're not robots. You know, we're not some AI software or some AI program that allows us to just go 24/7, 365. It's not humanly possible. So, good thing on this employee. I'm glad the Dollar General had to pay out of pocket for this. And they were ultimately sued for not giving a damn about your own employee. Now, if this lady had passed out, went into a diabetic coma, diabetic shock, etc., they would have been sued anyway. You see what I'm saying, guys? They would have definitely been sued by the lady's family. Especially if she ended up being unalive behind the situation. That's definitely a lawsuit. So the way I look at it is, either you going to take care of your employee now, or you going to take care of her later. So again, I'm glad that this outcome turned out positive. You know, she got a lot of back pay behind the situation. She also, you know, won the lawsuit. So she got her pockets lined up, man, and I'm not mad about it at all. But see, guys, the thing is, man, this is why we have all of these different acts and, you know, different commissions and all this different stuff. That's why it's in place. It's not just to protect the business and the corporations, but we have these same acts and things that help protect, you know, average everyday people. So it goes both ways, okay? But y'all let me know down below in the comment section how y'all feel about this one. This happened quite a while ago, guys. It's not new. This was several years ago. But again, now this lady has won that lawsuit. It's just nothing else that they can say about the situation, okay? And hopefully other corporations and companies, etc., whether they're big or small, they take heed to this type of situation, because if you find yourself in that spot, what are you going to do? You going to take care of your employee, or you going to get sued? It's as simple as that. All right. So that's what I got to say on that, man. I'm glad, like I said, that it turned out great for her. Again, she did pay for the bottle of orange juice. It was a dire emergency situation. To me, guys, in my personal opinion, I don't feel like she did anything wrong. She looked out for herself, because at the end of the day, nobody there was going to look out for her until she was passed out on the ground, getting loaded into an ambulance. Then at that point, it just might have been too late. Okay. But like I said, man, these companies and corporations, they have to start putting people first. You don't always have to put your policies first. You don't always have to put the rules and regulations first. I'm not saying that you should break the rules and regulations, but in a situation like this should have been an exception. And because they didn't make an exception for her, they paid for it. And what's the best way to get back at an individual or a corporation, company, whatever you want to call it? You didn't got to do nothing physical to them. You don't have to commit any sort of violent act. The best way to get through a situation like that is boom, 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 boom. Hit them in their pockets. Left and right. I bet you they'll get right there. And that's the truth. All right. So that's what I got to say on that, man. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. I appreciate y'all watching. Catch y'all in the very next video. All right.